The Lakers won a huge one last night. This was one against the team who is 1 seed ahead of them. Let's go over the game real quick, then we'll go over how the Lakers can win it all. Luka was flat out ridiculous, dropping 39 points with 8 rebounds and 7 assists. He shot 8 for 12 from the field and splashed in 3 out of 5 from deep. Just total efficiency. Austin Reaves came through in a huge way too, racking up 23 points, along with 7 rebounds and 6 assists. He went 9 for 15 shooting, making every look count. Even Dorian Finney-Smith was on fire, hitting 6 of his 8 attempts from long range, ending with 18 points that felt like daggers every time. LeBron played just 22 minutes, but still managed 14 points, 4 rebounds, and 8 assists before heading to the bench with the Lakers already cruising. Rui Hachimura added 16 points and 5 rebounds, keeping the offense humming whenever he was out there. Jared Vanderbilt chipped in with 8 points and grabbed 4 boards, making sure they didn't lose any momentum off the bench. The Lakers' shooting was absolutely lights out all night. They shot a wild 64% from the field in the first half alone and stacked up 78 points by halftime. They also held the Rockets to just 37% from beyond the arc, while Los Angeles knocked down over 50% of their own threes. Luka, Austin, and Dorian combined for 10 of the 13 threes made, just straight up bearing Houston's hopes. By the time the fourth quarter rolled around, even the bench got to join the party. Bronny James and Dalton Connect both nailed clutch threes late to slam the door shut. Every Laker who touched the court, except for Gabe Vincent, scored at least once, which is honestly wild. They just never let up, and the stats say it all. But for the Lakers to win the championship, it's gonna take some extremely consistent play, and it all starts with Luka and LeBron. Luka's gonna have to play like an absolute monster if the Lakers want to get through the West alive, let alone win the whole thing. I mean, he's already proven he can torch teams in the postseason, dropping over 30 points per game on nearly 60% true shooting last year. That's not optional this time around, it's mandatory. He's got to stay north of 30 points a game while keeping that efficiency at or above 58% true shooting. That's how he's going to shred defensive switches and make teams like the Nuggets and Thunder panic. And he's not getting away with lazy passing either. If Luka's dishing out 9 assists, but coughing up over 4 turnovers a night, that's gonna haunt them. He's gotta keep those giveaways under 3.5, especially when defenders start swarming him like mosquitoes at a bad picnic. LeBron, on the other hand, has to play like time forgot to catch up with him. He actually bumped his playoff true shooting to over 62% last year, and the Lakers are going to need him keeping it at 60 or better. He cannot drop below 25 points per game. If he does, the whole thing starts to wobble. But it's not just scoring. His playmaking is gold, sitting at 8.1 assists with fewer than 3 turnovers last postseason. That's exactly the level he needs to maintain, maybe even push a bit higher, especially in half-court sets where every possession feels like life or death. By the way, if you guys enjoy these deep dives, I'll be posting every day during this season. I genuinely appreciate if you could subscribe. Thanks. Anyways, defensively, LeBron has to anchor this thing. His defensive box plus minus was at 1.2 last year, but they're going to need at least a plus 1.5 from him to survive the deeper rounds, especially when the Lakers go small and rely on his rim protection to keep slashes from having a field day in the paint. Luka's defense, well, let's not pretend it's been anything pretty. He's usually got a negative defensive box plus minus, and last postseason, it dipped to minus 0.9. He needs to tighten it up, hold isolation scores under 45% shooting, or teams like the Thunder are just gonna bully. And let's talk clutch time, because it's not a luxury, it's a necessity. LeBron has this knack for turning into a basketball demigod in the final 5 minutes. Last playoffs, he posted a 64.3% true shooting in clutch moments. That's flat out ruthless. Luka's been solid in those stretches too, hovering around 60%. Together, they need to keep that combined clutch true shooting above 60%. When games get tight, they've got to be the cold-blooded closers who make every possession count. Now, the three-point shooting is the quiet killer here. LeBron's playoff average is just above 33%, but that's not enough. He's got to push past 36% to make defenders think twice about sagging off him. Luka, meanwhile, has been lethal. He hit over 38% from deep last postseason on a heavy diet of 10 attempts per game. If these two can combine for over 37% on at least 15 attempts every night, it's going to pull opposing big men out of the paint and open up driving lanes for the entire team. Look at the West. The Nuggets have Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray putting up insane numbers. Jokic is almost unstoppable with nearly 30 points, 13 boards, and close to 8 assists per game, all on over 62% true shooting. Murray adds another 25 plus points with over 6 assists and a solid 58% true shooting. The Lakers duo's job is simple, at least on paper. They've got to outscore Jokic and Murray by at least 5 points in clutch situations, because Denver's half-court offense is one of the sharpest weapons in the league. Then there's the Thunder with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Chet Holmgren. Shai's been a scoring machine, posting over 30 points per game on a jaw-dropping 63.4% true shooting. Chet's no slouch either, putting up nearly 19 points while shooting over 64% true shooting. To take these guys out, Luka and LeBron have to hit over 50% from the field inside the paint to neutralize Chet's rim protection. If they do not, those paint attempts are going to bounce out like they're hitting a trampoline. It's not just about the stars though. Their combined net rating when they share the floor has to be above +5. That's the line between a contender and a champion. Last year, when Luka and LeBron shared minutes, their net rating floated around +4. But to win the title, they've got to push that even higher. Every lineup with both of them needs to dominate, or they're gonna watch the trophy slip away. Another thing to watch is Luka's assist numbers. When he goes over 9 assists, the Lakers' offense unlocks a whole new level of danger. Spot-up shooters like Dorian Finney-Smith and Austin Reaves feed off those kickouts. Luka's passing has to stay crisp, fast, and decisive. If he hesitates, defenses will collapse and force bad shots late in the clock. LeBron's passing is equally vital. His assist-to-turnover ratio last playoffs sat near 2.9, which is elite. He's got to keep that number steady because playoff games often come down to a handful of possessions. A sloppy turnover with under a minute left, that's the kind of mistake that gets remembered all summer. Defensively, LeBron can't afford to take possessions off. His ability to rotate, contest shots at the rim, and communicate will be the glue holding their defense together. Luka's job on defense is simpler: survive. If he can limit his defensive lapses and keep opponents under 45% shooting in isolation, that's a huge win. And let's not forget the mental game. Playoff series are marathons, not sprints. Luka tends to play with a fiery edge, but he's got to keep it cool. Last postseason, when defenses ramped up, he sometimes forced shots and racked up unnecessary foul. He's got to balance aggression with patience, staying locked in through every possession. LeBron, well, he's been through this rodeo enough times to know pacing is everything. He cannot burn out in the early rounds. Keeping his minutes manageable, especially in blowouts, will help preserve his legs for when the Lakers really need him in tight elimination games. And when it comes to free throws, they both need to tighten up. Luka hovered around 77% from the line, and LeBron has flirted with the same range. But come playoff crunch time, they've got to push that up to 80% or better. Missed free throws in close games are just gifts to the other team. Finally, if they want to cap this off with the championship, they've got to trust their supporting cast. But that trust starts with leadership. Luka and LeBron set the tone. If they come out every night with urgency, discipline, and precision, the rest of the squad will follow. It's not about flashy plays. It's about relentless, consistent execution of their roles every single game. So bottom line, Luka's got to be the offensive engine, pumping out over 30 points, dishing 9+ assists, keeping turnovers low, and hitting deep threes at a high clip. LeBron's got to balance scoring, playmaking, and defensive leadership while maintaining elite efficiency and avoiding fatigue. If they both hit these marks, they'll not only survive the West, but give themselves a real shot at lifting the trophy. And let's be clear, the margin for error is razor thin. If they slip even a little, the West is packed with teams ready to pounce. But if they play to their ceiling, stack the numbers, and keep their foot on the gas, this duo can absolutely drag the Lakers to the finish line. But besides them, Reaves is going to have to be great. Austin Reaves absolutely has to hold the line if the Lakers are dreaming about hanging another banner. His season's been the best of his career, no doubt, but the playoffs will ask for even more. He's hit 20.2 points per game across the regular season, and in the last 10 games, he's cranked that up to 23.6 points, shooting a wild 51.7% from the field and nearly 46% from deep. That is not a luxury, that is survival. If he dips below 18 points a night in the playoffs, especially with how crowded the paint will get, it's going to be a problem. He's got to stay in that 20-point range with a true shooting percentage of at least 58%, or defenses are just going to load up on Luka and LeBron. The three-point shot is flat out crucial here. He's averaged 37.7% from deep across the season, but lately, he's been flaming hot, shooting 47.1% over the last 5 games on over 8 attempts per game. That volume is exactly where it needs to be. In the postseason, he has to let it fly. They need him knocking down at least 3 threes a game at 38% or better. Drop below that, and suddenly spacing collapses, and defenders camp in the paint like they're on vacation. Reaves also has to clean up the ball handling Across the year, he's got a solid 5.8 assists per game with 2.4 turnovers, giving him a decent assist-to-turnover ratio of 2.4. But under playoff pressure, that margin needs to tighten. If he can push his assists past 5 a game while keeping turnovers under 2, his playmaking will be a perfect release valve whenever defenses trap LeBron or Luka. He's already flashed this upside with that monster 16-assist game against the Kings back in December, and the triple-double against the Bucks in March, where he dropped 29 points, 14 assists, and 10 boards. That's the version of Reaves the Lakers desperately need. Now, on defense, let's be real. This is the area where Reaves has to claw back ground. His defensive box plus-minus during the last playoffs was minus 0.9, and teams hunted him in pick and rolls like he had a giant neon target on his back. Guards he defended shot over 45% from the field, which is just a little too friendly for playoff standards. He's got to chop that number down under 44%, plain and simple. It's not about turning into some defensive stopper overnight. It's about holding his ground, contesting hard, and not letting himself get roasted in isolation. His steals rate is sitting at 1.1 per game, with a 1.4% steal percentage, which is alright, but not quite playoff ready. If he can nudge that up to at least 1.5 steals a game, it will inject a little extra chaos into the Lakers' perimeter defense. Those sneaky deflections can lead to fast break points, and in the playoffs, every free bucket counts double. The advanced metrics tell the story pretty clearly too. Reaves is sporting a player efficiency rating of 18.1, which is comfortably above average for a guard. His win shares are sitting at 7.7, which ranks him third on the team. That kind of impact needs to translate into the playoffs. His usage rate at 23.7% fits perfectly with what they'll need. A balanced contributor who does not shy away from big moments, but also does not hijack possessions. Clutch time is where Reaves has shown some serious nerve. He's averaging over 5 points in the fourth quarter, which is the third highest on the team, behind the usual suspects, LeBron and Anthony Davis. But it's not just about scoring late, it's about efficiency under pressure. His career playoff clutch true shooting is 59.8%. So the goal is simple: push that over 60% in tight, late game moments. He has shown he can do it, like his 23 points and 0 turnovers performance in the overtime win against Memphis back in the 2023 playoffs. He's done it before. He's got to do it again. And if we line Reaves up next to some of the other top guards in the Western Conference, you see exactly where he needs to step up. Jamal Murray is dropping 25.9 points with 6.2 assists, shooting almost 40% from 3. Devin Booker, even though he did not even make the playoffs, still put up 28.6 points with over 6 assists and shot 60.9% true shooting. Reaves is playing catch up here. He's at 20.2 points and 5.8 assists. So the gap is not massive, but it is real. To close it, he's got to spike his scoring output in the playoffs to something like 21 or 22 points a game without losing efficiency. The good news is his recent trend suggests he's ready to do exactly that. In April alone, Reaves is lighting it up, shooting almost 47% from 3 on over 8 attempts per game. That is exactly the kind of volume and accuracy that can tilt a playoff series. He cannot afford to go cold like he did at times in the 2024 playoff, where his three-point shooting dropped to 26.9% against the Nuggets. If that happens again, defenses will ignore him, and the Lakers' whole offense will feel it. Reaves' role is not about being the main guy, but about being the connector. When defenses blitz Luka or collapse on LeBron's drives, Reaves has to make them pay. That means quick decisions, high percentage looks, and fearless shooting. His assist rate of 24.8%, ranking top 15 among shooting guards, shows he's got the vision. Now it is about translating that into playoff tempo, where defenses rotate faster and passing windows close in a blink. Turnovers, too, are under the microscope. His 2.4 per game in the regular season is manageable, but in the playoffs, the margin for error shrinks to nothing. Ideally, he needs to be down around 1.8 or lower per game. That extra bit of care with the ball could be the difference between advancing and booking early vacations. Defensively, as much as teams will try to expose him, Reaves can flip the script by being just aggressive enough, up his physicality, play angles smarter, and fight through screens. Like his job depends on it. Because honestly, it does. If he can pull his opponent's shooting percentage under 44% and keep his on-ball fouls low, it will take a ton of pressure off LeBron and Luka defensively. And let's not gloss over free throws. Reaves is an 87.7% shooter from the line across the season, with an even higher clip over his last 10 games. In tight, Playoff games, that kind of reliability is non-negotiable. He's got to stay at that level. And honestly, push even higher if possible. Missed free throws in May and June feel like bricks dropped straight on the team's chances. Finally, he has to embrace the playoff chaos. His versatility is an asset, a secondary ball handler, a spot-up threat, a capable finisher in transition, and a connector in half-court sets. But for the Lakers to thrive, Reaves has to play like he belongs in the spotlight. No hesitation, no second guessing. Catch, shoot, drive, or dish decisively every time. Bottom line, Austin Reaves has to bring his regular season heater straight into the playoffs without cooling off. He needs to maintain 20+ points per game, shoot over 38% from deep on high volume, deliver at least 5 assists with fewer than 2 turnovers, keep his true shooting over 60%, and avoid becoming a defensive liability. If he hits those marks, the Lakers' offense becomes nearly unguardable. Their spacing stretches, defense is thin, and their shot creation becomes a 3-headed monster that even the best defenses in the league will struggle to contain. And besides them, the thing about the Lakers' role players is they are not getting to survive these playoffs on their own islands. There is no vacation here. Dorian Finney-Smith, Rui Hachimura, and Gabe Vincent are basically pieces of the same survival kit. If even one of them fails to do the job, the whole thing falls apart like bad duct tape. And it starts with the shooting, because it always starts with the shooting. Dorian's been their marksman from deep all season, drilling over 41% of his threes, and in April, he turned it up to nearly 46%. But here's the thing, it only works if Rui and Vincent are keeping defenses honest alongside him. Rui's hanging at 37% from deep, but when the clock is winding down and defenses tighten up, he needs to be closer to 38% or better, especially since he's going to get those pick and pop looks when LeBron and Luka pull defenders into the paint. If Rui's missing those shots, then Dorian becomes the only real perimeter threat, and defenders start camping on him like they're waiting for a bus. And Vincent, he cannot just be a bystander behind the arc. 35.3% from 3 during the season is fine for February, but in May and June, it has to creep up to at least 36%, preferably higher. He already showed flashes against Oklahoma City, hitting 4 out of 7 from deep when it counted, but flashes are not enough in a 7-game series. If Vincent finds rhythm early, defenses will have to stretch even further, giving Rui and Dorian the breathing room they desperately need. It all ties together. None of them can afford to go cold, while the others are heating up. They've got to sync like bad dancers, somehow pulling off a flawless routine. Defensively, they are basically the spine of this Lakers team. Finney-Smith is switching everywhere, and it shows in his versatility, defending positions 1 through 4 without looking like he's on roller skates. But his work is only half done, unless Rui is crashing the boards with full commitment. Rui's 5 rebounds a game in the regular season are decent, but for this run, he's got to be hunting for 6 or more, because Dorian alone is not controlling the glass against guys like Christian Brown, who pulls down rebounds like he gets paid extra for it. Vincent fits in here too, in a way that does not show up in the box score at first glance. His on-ball pressure at the point of attack forces sloppy passes and bad decisions, which opens the door for Dorian and Rui to clean up those mistakes. Vincent's forced turnover rate of over 12% against opposing point guards is sneaky valuable, especially when it leads to runouts and quick threes from Dorian or easy transition buckets from Rui, who finishes in the restricted area at nearly 68% efficiency. So Vincent is not just annoying opposing guards for sport, he is doing it to fuel offense for his teammates. But let's be honest, this whole operation falls apart if they do not rebound as a unit. Rui needs to get his 6 rebounds, Dorian has to grab 4 or more, and Vincent, even as a guard, has to come down with at least a couple of sneaky rebounds and traffic. They are not getting a free pass on this. The Lakers are going to run small ball lineups, and if the role players do not rebound, opponents like Denver are going to feast on second chance points. Nikola Jokic does not need more chances, and Jamal Murray will make them pay every single time. Speaking of Murray, guarding him is going to take all 3 of them in rotation. Vincent starts the action, staying glued to him on ball screens. But if he gets picked off, Rui has to step up without fouling. If Rui gets caught in space, Dorian has to slide over and contest without surrendering clean looks at the rim or from mid-range. That is the only way to survive. One-on-one defense against these Western guards is a fantasy. Team defense is the reality. Then there is the matter of closing games, where things really tighten up. Dorian's spacing is critical here, because by the 4th quarter, defenses stop respecting shooters who are cold. He has to be ready to hit those dagger corner threes late in games. Rui, meanwhile, has been excellent in clutch situations, shooting over 41% from 3 in crunch time, which cannot drop now. If anything, he needs to push that closer to 43%. because clutch threes are momentum stealers. Vincent's role in clutch minutes is not glamorous, but it is absolutely necessary. He has to handle the ball without coughing it up, keeping his turnovers under 1 per game, especially when LeBron sits or Luka gets double-teamed. His composure matters, because if he panics and throws the ball away, it erases everything good Dorian and Rui have done all game. And in late possessions, when the ball swings to him, he cannot hesitate. He has to fire confidently and hit those open shots. The comparisons to other Western Conference role players make the expectations even clearer. Christian Braun is giving Denver 15.5 points a game with a true shooting percentage over 66%. Dorian, Rui, and Vincent together need to eclipse that impact, not individually, but combined. Dylan Brooks, with his 14 points per game and nearly 40% from 3, is a volume guy who forces defenses to pay attention. Rui has to be the Lakers' answer to that, matching or exceeding Brooks' output while maintaining his superior efficiency. And do not forget Bruce Brown, whose defense and energy off the bench helped Denver seal critical games last postseason. Vincent's got to mirror that impact, not just statistically, but emotionally. Brown brings momentum shifts with his hustle, and Vincent needs to be that same spark for the Lakers, diving for loose balls, harassing ball handlers, and hitting back-breaking threes when defenses sag. Altogether, the formula is not complicated, but it is brutally demanding. These 3 role players need to combine for around 25 points per game, at least 10 to 12 rebounds, and 5 made threes at close to 40% accuracy. Defensively, they have to hold their assignments under 43% shooting and force a combined 3 turnovers per game. If they do that, they give the Lakers stars the room they need to operate and carry the heavy scoring load. If they do not, well, that is where things get ugly. Without Vincent's pressure, opposing guards get too comfortable. Without Rui's rebounding and inside finishing, the Lakers lose the battle in the paint. Without Dorian's spacing and defensive switching, the whole floor shrinks. And Luka and LeBron start seeing double teams before they even cross half court. Every gap in their performance becomes a weakness that elite teams exploit without mercy. But here's the good news, if you can call it that. They have shown signs they are capable. In stretches, all 3 have hit the marks. Against Houston, Dorian was lights out from deep, Rui was efficient inside, and Vincent brought the defensive intensity they needed. The challenge is consistency. In the playoffs, there's no such thing as having an off night without consequences. Every game is weighted, every possession magnified. They're not out there to be heroes. They are out there to be reliable, to hit open shots when the stars draw 2 defenders, to rebound like it is their paycheck on the line, to defend with full effort every possession, even when fatigue sets in. If they embrace that, the Lakers have a shot, a real one, because make no mistake, Luka and LeBron can only carry this so far. They will get the Lakers close, but it is the role players who will push them over the finish line or leave them stranded at the doorstep. Finney-Smith, Rui, Vincent. They are not the headliners, but they might just be the difference between a parade and an early exit. Overall, though, at the end of the day, it's really simple. The Lakers already showed in that win how dangerous they can be when everything clicks. They controlled the tempo, they hit their shots, they shared the ball like a team that actually trusts each other. And more importantly, they kept their foot on the gas from start to finish. That's the version of the Lakers that can beat anybody. But the playoffs, they don't care about your potential. They don't care about your great regular season numbers or flashy highlights. They only care about what you're willing to do when the lights are the brightest and every mistake feels like it weighs 1,000 pounds. If the Lakers want to win it all, it's going to take every single ounce of effort, every single play from every single player in that rotation. Luka and LeBron, they're the engines, no doubt. When they're locked in, they make this whole thing go. But the reality is, even they can't do it alone. The load is just too heavy. If they have to carry this thing by themselves for 2 straight months, they're going to run out of steam, plain and simple. And that's where the rest of the squad steps in. Reaves, Rui, Dorian, Vincent, all of them. They've got to show up every night like their season is on the line, because it absolutely is. They've got to hit open shots when defenses overcommit to Luka. They've got to fight for every loose ball, grab rebounds like it's the last one left on earth, and bring that desperation from tip-off to final buzzer. This is what separates champions from contenders, not the flashy plays or the highlight dunks. It's the dirty work. It's making the extra rotation on defense when you're exhausted. It's stepping up and draining a pressure 3 when the crowd's on its feet and your hands are shaking. It's keeping your composure when the game feels like it's slipping away. If this Lakers team wants to raise a trophy at the end of this grind, They've got to be the team that does all of that, not just talks about it. The West is not forgiving. Denver isn't going to hand them anything. The Thunder are hungry and fearless. And every night, there's going to be another team looking to punch the Lakers in the mouth just to prove a point. That's why they've got to play every single game like it's an elimination game. There's no such thing as easing into a series anymore. That luxury doesn't exist. If they wait to flip the switch, they'll be watching the finals from their couch, wondering what went wrong. And honestly, what makes this team dangerous isn't just the star power. It's the depth, it's the chemistry, it's the way they've built themselves to survive the absolute chaos of playoff basketball. They've got versatile defenders, shot makers who aren't afraid of big moments, and vets who've seen it all before. That's the kind of roster that can go the distance, but only if they play like it, only if they trust each other fully, only if they remember that every possession matters, even the ones in the first quarter that feel like they don't. What's exciting is that you can see it. You can see the flashes of a team that understands the stakes. When they're moving the ball, when they're helping each other on defense, when the bench gets loud after a big play, you feel it. That energy is real. But it can't be occasional. It has to be every game, every quarter, every single minute they're out there. Because the second they let it slip, the second they think they've got breathing room, the West will slam the door in their face. So, here's the bottom line. If they bring that same hunger from last night into the playoffs, if they play like every possession is life or death, they've got a real shot. If Luka and LeBron lead with intensity and discipline, if Reaves steps up as that perfect connector, if Rui and Dorian stretch the floor and defend like maniacs, and if Vincent keeps pestering opposing guards until they crack, this team can absolutely go all the way. They've got the pieces, they've got the experience, they've got the firepower. Now it's just about doing it. No excuses, no hesitation. It's all right there in front of them. Go take it. If you guys enjoyed this, I'll be posting every day during this season. I genuinely appreciate if you could subscribe. Thanks for watching.